Welcome to the Fall Gathering! We wish you were here!
Okinek Sokoaks, Idamik Sitsuku, Bistu Nidaniku Gayi Kakatusi, Nomochtoto Omochkoyes, Nomochsokimos Akutoyu, Anach Sitsuku, Ki Sixigate Sistapi Xaku. Hello everyone, my name is Dylan DeRozier. I'm a board member with the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance. And I want to say it feels good to be here with all of you virtually in Amskapi Pikani territory. I'd like to welcome you today to our 11th annual Fall Gathering.
Hi, thanks Dylan, thanks Lou. I'm Gina Rink and I'm a board member with the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance. I'd like to welcome you as well to our virtual Fall Gathering. Tonight on the agenda we will have the auction items previewed for you to see. We hope you will sit at home with your glass of wine and bid up on these auction items to bring some more money in for this great cause. Lastly, we will have some great music from Jack Gladstone, so sit at home comfortably, enjoy, and I'd like to introduce you to our Executive Director, Peter Metcalf, and thank you all for attending.
The Fall Gathering is always one of my favorite weekends of the year, when we come together to celebrate the glorious Badger-Two medicine and be inspired in our work to protect it. I have to admit, it's hard and strange not to be gathering together in person, and I really wish that we could be. I feel like more than ever, we kind of need it right now. It seems daily during these difficult and divisive times, I'm reminded just how much we need wild places. Places like the Badger-Two medicine, where we can go to get away, even if it's only for a moment, where we can spend time with family and friends, where we can experience wonder and hope, and hopefully connect with forces and mysteries greater than ourselves. So on that note, the board of directors and I are excited to share with you a little bit about the Badger-Two medicine tonight, and hope you'll be inspired to help protect it.
In 1984, the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance was formed to help defend the Badger-Two medicine from oil and gas development. And while that work continues today, over the past year, we've been really working hard and focused on permanently protecting the Badger as a cultural heritage area. This new designation would not only protect the cultural and natural integrity of the Badger, but it also permanently protects Blackfeet Nation reserved rights in the area. So why are we so passionate about protecting the Badger-Two medicine? Well, let's take a look at what makes this place so special.
The solitude itself of the area is probably the most powerful because language really waters down what you're feeling there.
If you look at the Badger-Two medicine on the map, it's really a unique place. Its location between Glacier Park, between the Bob Marshall Wilderness Complex, it's in a little remote corner of Montana.
Imagine a landscape with soaring limestone peaks, and out of that springs this wonderful diversity of magnificent trees and animals and water. Some of the most beautiful settings that you can imagine.
It's this incredible mosaic of different habitats and juxtaposition. It's wonderful to hike through because it's always changing as you're hiking, you know. You're never bored in this country.
The Badger-Two medicine area has, for thousands of years, been key to the Blackfeet spirituality, to our vision seekers and our ceremonies.
Our ancestors have always been in the mountains. You know, utilize that area just as much as they utilize the plains.
Blackfeet habitat is something essential for our survival. This is Blackfeet habitat.
We, the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance, believe that justice would best be served by permanent protection. It's about perpetuity. It's about our children being able to enjoy and experience the cultural and ecologic richness that we find in the Badger-Two Medicine today.
The journey towards permanent protection reached 3 major milestones since last year's fall gathering that I'm excited to share with you tonight. The first involved the elimination of the last oil and gas leases in the Badger-Two Medicine. Woo! Here we are earlier this week up at the former Solonex lease site. Boy, it feels good to say that. Back in June, the Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Obama-era cancellation was lawful and that this lease needed to go away. However, before we celebrate too much, it's important to point out that the company still has a small window of opportunity with which to appeal this decision. But rest assured, if they do, we stand ready once again to defend this lease cancellation decision until the Badger-Two Medicine is permanently free of oil and gas. Second major milestone that came this summer was when the Helena Lewis and Clark National Forest released their long-anticipated forest plan. This plan will cover the management of not only the Badger-Two Medicine, but the entire forest all the way down to the Crazy Mountains for the next 15 to 20 years. We've been working hard with our partners and with the Forest Service, and I know many of you have been involved, to try to strengthen some of these plan components. We should have a good idea of whether the forest incorporated any of our suggestions when they release their final decision later this winter. And now the third major milestone. In July, Senator Tester introduced the Badger-Two Medicine Protection Act. Now, the bill still has a long ways to go before it becomes law, and there's a lot of work to be done. But we're committed to working with Senator Tester, with the tribe, and with all of our partners to try to move this legislation forward and this vision forward until we reach permanent protection. We wouldn't have reached any of these milestones without you, without your support and your involvement. Thank you for being such a critical part of this effort to protect the Badger-Two Medicine.
Okay, gang, are you ready to rumble? Get your wallets out, get your excitement out. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun tonight and for the next 9 days. And while we're having that fun, let's think every so often about what we're doing here. We're supporting some of the greatest country on earth. As we all know, there is no country like the Badger-Two Medicine country.
Help us do that tonight. We have a fabulous auction that'll raise funds to support this effort. Once again, we're blown away by the generosity of the business community and the individuals who support Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance and this cause. And you can see some of those donors on your screen. I'd like to take a moment just to highlight some of these really terrific auction items that we have for you. One of the first ones we have is 3 nights at Dropstone Outfitting's Circus Creek Camp in the Bob Marshall. I happen to know this is a very fabulous area, the Bob Marshall. It's about an 11-mile hike in. You can stay at a totally outfitted outfitter camp there with a wall tent and kitchen while you explore some of the beautiful high country or go for a swim in this beautiful grotto on the South Fork of Birch Creek, which I happen to remember fondly from a previous trip. In addition, we got lots of different experiences for you, such as a day of riding and 2 nights of accommodation hosted by Bear Creek Ranch. Or perhaps you want to join master birder and local guide Lou Bruno as he takes you to some of the hot spots to find perhaps a lifeless species or just learn about the amazing bird life that lives in this area. He'll also treat you to some accommodation, huckleberry pancakes, and of course, dinner at Serrano's. You can join me and my wife, Renee, not pictured, for a lovely day of hiking in the Badger-Two Medicine for you and up to, say, 7 of your friends or family. You can pick the destination and difficulty, and we'll start with a fabulous breakfast at Two Medicine Grill. Also, again this year, one of my favorites, the ever popular drop camp in the Badger-Two Medicine. I got to go on this last year, And let me tell you, it is a way to travel. Frank Vitale will take in your gear, and all you have to do is just enjoy walking with a light pack, and you can bring in some fabulous food and luxury camp items to make your stay and explorations amazing. We also have a variety of accommodations for you if you're looking to plan your next vacation to Glacier Park or to travel and visit the Badger-Two Medicine, once of course it's safe and responsible to do so. Again, including 2 rooms for 2 nights at the Mountain Pine Hotel, several VRBOs and accommodations at the Isaac Walton in Essex, always a popular spot. But this just came in this week. Very excited again to have featured from Wendy Gates. Thank you very much for making your Olympic Peninsula VRBO available for 4 nights. A great opportunity to explore the rainforest around Olympic National Park, some biking opportunities, and of course salmon fishing, as well as just walking in the forest as well. So if you're looking to get out of East Glacier or Montana or wherever you call home and get off and explore a wonderful part of the West, again, we have a base for your vacation to do so this year. And what would be a fall gathering auction of the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance without huckleberry pie? We have 2 offerings this year, one from Lou Bruno, as usual, and one from Pat Hagen, as usual, both accomplished pie bakers who gathered huckleberries, and we will be interested to see who of these 2 gentlemen walks away the big winner of this year's pie contest. Of course, we got lots of other auction items on offer, a lot of artwork from local artists, as well as some quilts and a Glacier Stripes blanket and some other VRBOs and experiences. So please check all those out. The auction will last from tonight until Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. So you have 9 days to get your bids in. To access our secure online auction site, simply click on the word bid on our website, or simply text the word gathering to the number shown on your screen. This will take you to our auction site where you can view all of the auction items and place your bid. If someone outbids you, you'll receive either a text or an email notification so you can go back and raise your bid. And remember, the auction closes on Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. In addition, all this next week, if you want to simply donate to GTMA, we have a number of thank you gifts that you can choose from based on your level of giving, including this beautiful limited edition Tony Bynum print for a gift of $1,000. To view this and other thank you gifts, simply click on the button Donate on our website or text Donate GTMA to the number shown on your screen. Okay, Bill, take it away.
Once again, let's get excited. Let's have some fun. Let's get your wallets out. Let's support the Badger-Two Medicine country. Thank you.
Okay, so the auction is live, and now I'd like to turn it back to Lou Bruno to introduce tonight's special guest.
GTMA is honored to host the presentation of the Jim Posewitz Professional Conservation Award from the Cinnabar Foundation. This year's presentation is particularly poignant because Jim passed away last June. To me, as many of you, Jim and Gail were very dear friends. The Cinnabar Foundation, which Jim helped found, has been involved in many, many issues and efforts to protect Montana's landscape. I also happen to know who this year's recipient is, and that person is very deserving of this award. Let's welcome Gary Wolf, Executive Director of the Cinnabar Foundation, to present this year's award. Gary joined our Executive Director, Peter Metcalf, via Zoom.
I'd really like to thank you and the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance for inviting the Cinnabar Foundation to present this special award at your annual celebration. It's really special. But before we get to the award itself, I'd like to share a bit of the history of the Cinnabar Foundation for the benefit of anyone in the audience who may not be familiar with the foundation. And Cinnabar is an environmental grant-making foundation established in 1983 by Lynn and Sandy Sargent, Phil Tawney, and Jim Posewitz. Now for a bit of background on the Jim Posewitz Professional Conservationist Award. As I mentioned, Jim was one of the 4 founders of the Cinnabar Foundation, and he served as its executive director for 25 years. And the Rocky Mountain Front and the Badger-Two Medicine was very special to Jim, very important part of Montana for him. And Jim was inducted into the Montana Outdoor Hall of Fame in December 2016, and he remained a prolific writer and speaker about Montana's conservation history and values, and he was a strong advocate for wildlife and wild places, right up until his death earlier this year at age 85. And now I'd like to announce the 5th recipient of the Jim Posewich Professional Conservationist Award, Gloria Flora, and read an excerpt from the award citation written by Cinnabar's board chair, Dr. Corky Britt. It says, "Dear Gloria, congratulations. You are the 5th recipient of the Jim Posewich Professional Conservationist Award. Jim's recent passing underscores the need to recognize individuals who, like you, stood up in the face of organized opposition to protect the natural environment of this precious landscape, including its abundant wildlife and sustaining habitat, as well as the future of the humans who live here. You have worked across a broad spectrum of issues: wise forest management, endangered species protection, public lands, social equity, and climate change. Your decision as supervisor of the Lewis and Clark National Forest to prohibit oil and natural gas leasing along the 356,000-acre Rocky Mountain Front. This controversial decision was appealed by the oil and gas industry all the way to the United States Supreme Court. The court's decision to prohibit leasing has endured, and we are all in your debt as a result. Gloria, like previous recipients of the Posewich Award, you have advanced an admirable conservation agenda in the face of adversity. The board of the Cinnabar Foundation and your colleagues are proud of you, your stewardship, and the example you've set. Thank you, Gloria. And now I'd like to invite Gloria to say a few words. Gloria?
Thank you so much, Gary, and thank you, Cinnabar Foundation. I'm deeply honored. I knew Jim Posewich. I had the pleasure of working with him and watching what wonderful things he was able to accomplish over the years, and stand in awe of his work and accomplishment, as well as that of the Cinnabar Foundation. And I thank you also very much for the $5,000 grant. And I had a special project I was just waiting for some funding to undertake, and that is, you had mentioned the Rocky Mountain Front and the subsequent work that was done since my decision to prohibit oil and gas leasing was done through the Coalition to Protect the Rocky Mountain Front and a lot of other supporters and key partners like the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance. And as you know, we were able to pass the Rocky Mountain Front Heritage Act after 7 years of hard work in the community. So what I want to do with this $5,000 through my nonprofit, Sustainable Obtainable Solutions, is to conduct a monitoring analysis of the outcomes of the Rocky Mountain Front Heritage Act that was passed in 2014. And so we've had 6 years of watching this act unfold, both from the Forest Service management standpoint, as well as effects on communities, as well as effects on the environment. And I would like to take a look at those claims, positive and negative, and see which really were borne out by time and by experience. And I think that that kind of information will really help further conservation efforts. So, with that, I thank you very much, and Peter, thank you, and the wonderful folks of the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance. Keep up the great work, and with all of us working together, we are going to protect some very, very special landscapes. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. I know that Jim Posewich would fully support the work that you're planning to do with the award that goes along with the Jim Posowich Professional Conservationist Award. As I said earlier, the Rocky Mountain Front was a very special place for Jim, and I'm glad to see that you're honoring his memory with continuing the kind of work you're doing there on the Rocky Mountain Front. And Peter, thank you so much for this opportunity, and we wish you the very best on your annual celebration. And we're really proud to be a partner with the Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance. You folks are doing great work up there, and the Cinnabar Foundation is just delighted to be a long-term partner of yours. So keep up the good work.
Congratulations, Gloria. It is a very well-deserved honor. And thank you, Gary and the Cinnabar Foundation, for asking to present the award here at the Fall Gathering, and for all the ways that you support Glacier-Two Medicine Alliance and many other organizations who are working to protect the lands and wildlife of Montana. And thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. It takes a community to make this happen, and you are a vital part of this community effort that is working to protect the Badger-Two Medicine. And you know who else is a part of this community? Jack Gladstone. And we are very honored to have Jack Gladstone play some music for us tonight as a way to take us out. So sit back, bid, and enjoy the music. Let's turn it over to Jack Gladstone.
This is a love song for the autumn.
Play a symphony for all the birds that fly and all the trees spreading out to the sky. Play a symphony for fallen colors by the autumn wind that has come once again. You can play it if you try. Add your part if you might. If you have heart enough to try, oh why does the city pull your spirit down from flight? Hear the symphony hand softly fall and scream that rolls in rhythm with the roar of the streams. Hear the symphony that drops her harmonies in pools that glistened in the sun's growing clean. You can stay here if you like. I will hold you through the night. Together we shall be the melody line, leading our symphony through time. Love is simply a two-part symphony where we can join and be blended as one. The birds and bowing trees make background harmonies while the colors change around our mountains and streams. You can stay here if you like. We'll partake in lovers' rights. Together we shall be the melody line, leading our symphony through time. Leading our symphony through time.
This song is called Waiting for a Chinook.
So long to the city, hello to the west. In 1880 I was a kid. Riding herd on a tree was the best thing that I ever did. And longhorn beeves, goodnight thieves below the halo of a buffalo sky. We were buffalo-less as snow began to fly. The angels of the range ascended. Nemesis was our attendant. This cold maker played at 40 below. Amidst the bones of wolves and bison, cattle bawled and were driven into madness by the ice under the snow. Ah-hoo. I'm turning the pages, feeding the fire, reading the book. February snows blanketed coolies in the ridgeline crest. The story of the Old West now is gone. It's Saturday night. It's Saturday night. It's Saturday night. A postcard sketch at banker's request. There really wasn't nothing to say. Couldn't believe winter blew it all away. But what did we expect? As I reflect, Almighty Mother of Earth, nature revealed what Texas beef is worth. Angels of the range ascendant, Nemesis was our attendant. This cold maker played at 40 below. Amidst the bones of wolves and bison, cattle bawled and were driven into madness by the ice under the snow. Ah-hoo. Chinook, I'm turning the pages, feeding the fire, reading the book. Ah-hoo. Ah-hoo.
The song is called The Bear Who Stole the Chinook. This is about the long ago hero's adventure of a young orphan boy and his 4 animal elders heading up into the mountains to release the Chinook from its captivity from a big grizzly bear.
The snow came early and lay on deep. The cold blown bitter made the women weep. Our men tracked hard, could find no game. Well, in our children's bellies were crying pains.
Our elders gathered in the eve at dawn. They prayed and waited and looked, but little did they know that way up high the bear had stole the Chinook, a ragged orphan boy living alone. Called to the animals in his home. Howling magpie flew on him. With coyote and weasel there was 4 of them. As their council met, the magpie called as their hero shivered and shook. He said, "My relatives told me so." He said, "The bear has stole the Chinook." Our heroes journey to release the wind turned west to the mountain bear's tent. For days they teamed and traveled along. Together they did ascend up to the den that held the Chinook. The grizzly snored and snarled in his sleep. Owl crept close into his lodge, peeped. Bear punched Owl's eyes with a stick. So they sent in a brother who was lightning quick. The weasel slithered easy through the hole and found the elk skin bag of the crook. The bear in rage roared, "Go away! I'm the bear who stole the Chinook." Then our friends made medicine, smoke appear and blew it in the grizzly bear's tent. The big old grizz fell fast asleep as coyote crept on him. He found the bag where the wind was kept and pulled it to the light of day. There a prairie chicken picked the stitches out. Then the Chinook blew on its way. The Chinook blew on its way. Bear burst suddenly from his sleep. Bear said, "Our friends all fled, their job complete." Well, the bear in vain pursued the wind, but the warm wind never was again his friend. Now bear sleeps underground the winter long. In his lodge he grumbles and looks back to the days of the winter warmth. Back to the bear who stole the Chinook. To the bear who stole the Chinook. I'm the bear who stole the Chinook. I'm the bear who stole the Chinook. The song is entitled Old Shep, and it's about a very patient friend, a sheepherder's dog who waited for his master to return for 5.5 years at the train station in Fort Benton, Montana, after his master had passed on and been shipped east for burial. The song is dedicated to the patience, the loyalty, and the friendship that a dog can offer. Not so long ago, outside of Fort Benton was a tale born of a faithful friend as the train pulled away from the station with the body of an old shepherd man. Through his final years in these Montana plains, over pasture and highland, through hard summer rain, old Shep ran beside him, tending the flocks, patrolling the range. Old Shep slept beside him, ever alert. If the silence did change, 1,000 sunrises were met with old Shep. The fall came, the light grew dim for the shepherd man when he reached the town, and old Shep
could sense there would be a long journey to a meadow space where peace is found. Down in a bed in Fort Benton he lay. His spirit departed, but his body stayed. Then old Shep walked beside him as they carried his casket up to the train. Old Shep tried to climb on board, but they pushed him away to the station platform. Here a separate trail was met by old Shep. How many nights, how many days would your partner wait for you? How many seasons would you weather the storm if your companion was long overdue? Overdue. For over 6 snows, old Shep waited, and through 5 springs there was no return. He met each train that rolled into the station. His faith remained, his candle burned. But then on a cold, dark, wintry day, our hero rejoined his best friend. Now old Shep is beside him, tending the heavens, patrolling the range. Old Shep sleeps beside him as the seasons revolve this big sky of change, a friend we won't forget. Old Shep is beside him, tending the heavens, patrolling the range. Old Shep sleeps beside him as the seasons revolve this big sky of change, a friend we won't forget. Old Shep, old Shep, old Shep. Ini Ietopi, Buffalo Cafe. Gather round me, young and old, girls and boys, there'll be stories told about the land that taught us to talk. With mother's hand, we'll learn to walk. We'll travel back in time to the last ice age, with the sun's creation fully encaged. Spirits and heroes, tricksters and fools, there's something for everyone. I now anoint this place, the Buffalo Cafe. A symphony of waving grass was composed by sun and cast, with characters of wing and fur. Beneath the water, creatures stirred. Our creator's voice was a thunder roll. All of creation shared one soul. Spirits and heroes, tricksters and fools, there's something for everyone. I now anoint this place, the Buffalo Cafe. Mustangs and eagles weaving circles with the sun. They were and still are part of everyone. I'm looking for the wings to fly and hooves to touch the earth, where we'll be free again. There we can see again the home that was known at our birth. So gather round me, young and old, girls and boys, there'll be stories told about the land that taught us to talk. With mother's hand, we'll learn to walk. We'll travel back in time to the last ice age, with the sun's creation fully engaged. Spirits and heroes, tricksters and fools, the cast includes everyone in this unfolding stage of our Buffalo Cafe. Spirits and heroes, tricksters and fools, there's something for everyone. I now anoint this play the Buffalo Cafe. The Buffalo Cafe. Buffalo Cafe. The Buffalo Cafe.
The song is called When Land Belonged to God. The song is dedicated to Charlie Russell's impressions of Montana in watercolor, in sketches, in major canvas works, and in bronzes in his career. Charlie Russell was Montana's greatest artist who helped keep it wild and helped our nation's citizens appreciate Montana long before most of them discovered Montana. Land belonged to God.
On the spring heath of 16, Charlie Russell departed from his St. Louis home, a young man whose big dreams had delivered a call to the heart. So by train and stagecoach he made his way through an endless sea of grass that blew to the shore of the big sky's unbroken song, where land belonged to God. A rising choir of buffalo, mountains were sentinels for creatures below, stirring tones from long ago that survived an eclipse of the soul. As the curtain closed on our noble play, before the stage was struck by cashiers and surveyors, he carefully captured the sings of the big sky's unbroken song, where land belonged to God. Where all the wild kin of man danced in rhythm with the land, where grizzly bear and gray wolf first were chiefs, where episodes of old man's travels helped our people first unravel the mystery of sacred time between the earth and sky. Time respects the careful hand when chosen colors are tried. The vision forever stands. The purest gift is not of gold, but an art that awakens the soul. As we choose our trail up the great divide to an unknown stage on the other side, we might realign with the seas of the big sky's unbroken song, where land belongs to God. On the big sky's unbroken song, land belongs to God.